Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for PSY-45 Research Methods for Saturday, October 15th. As I always do, just going to go over a few reminders and clarifications, anything I think you need to know to help you stay on top of things in our course. That is the purpose of these short videos on the weekends, so let's get started. First up, the quiz and discussion for Chapter 8 on Between Subjects Designs. That was due yesterday there last evening, so most of you did a nice job there, but do be careful with when you think about between subjects designs, at least for this chapter 8 on the experimental version of those, because as chapter 8 details, those are still experiments, and so you have to have an independent variable, just like you had in chapter 7 on the experimental strategy. You have to have an independent variable that people can be assigned to. So you can't do these kinds of between subject experimental studies involving variables that people naturally already have, like their gender or income level or schools they go to, etc. Those aren't legitimate groups. It has to be something you can be assigned to, like a drug condition or something. So some of you got kind of mixed up about that, so please be careful. Next up here is Chapter 9, our chapter on Within Subjects Designs, and also Chapter 10. Those are both going to be assigned for next week there. I have to condense a few things here and there to make everything fit into our 18-week format. And so the discussions and quizzes for both chapters 9 and 10 are going to be due this coming Friday next week there on the 21st. You will get a reminder announcement about that, but just a heads up from this video to keep you on top of things. And don't forget that time differential. The quizzes are due at 11:59 p.m. The discussions will be due at 9 p.m. on that evening. And for both of those assignments there for the discussions, just like chapter 8, you are going to have to design a study reflecting the content of those chapters. So please do carefully examine the setup that I provide in the discussion. I always give you an example as well. Use the example to help you craft your own submission after, and you shouldn't have any problem, because I'm not asking for a whole lot in these design submissions, but I am asking for some basic minimum. Just make sure you provide that, read the prompt carefully, and again, examine the examples I've got there for you, and you shouldn't have any trouble. Next up, your current MindTap chapters 8, 9, and 10. Please be working on those so you don't get behind on those. Also, next up here is that your outline feedback has been posted earlier this week there. Most of you did a really nice job. Some of you had some issues that you failed to correct from the first part of this paper, which was very distressing to see because I gave you enough feedback to remedy those issues, especially regarding the APA style and formatting of your references, and some of you just didn't do any of that. So not sure why you're not bothering to examine the feedback, but you should. I provide it for a reason, so you can end up not losing the same points again. So please be careful about that. And also on your outline feedback itself, please be careful to incorporate any of the corrections I provided there when you write your final literature review paper. Most of you did a good job, but some of you had some issues with how you formatted your citations and how you handled quotes, or how you had information in your outline that wasn't really found in your references, which is a big no-no. And some of you didn't incorporate all of your references into your outline, which is like another big no-no. This is a review of the literature, so you have to write about the things that you found in your references, and you don't write about things you don't have in your references. It's just that simple. So please make sure you keep those basics in mind there. Next up here, speaking about the final literature review, that's open now. The instructions are, so do take a look at the instructions there. You'll find a how-to video just like you found for the first two parts of the paper at the top, so please do watch that. I walk you through with screenshots and narration and show and tell you what to do, so definitely do that. You will find a separate instruction file along with what's called a checklist. That checklist, consider that a list of do's and don'ts, things you do want to have in your paper and things you don't want to have in your paper. So do examine that. It's pretty thorough and will really save you some time, so do take some time to walk through it there. Also, don't forget you have a sample paper available through that online writing lab, the OWL, or the OWL as it's called. When you open up the instructions and you look at, say, the title page instructions and the abstract page instruction and the paper itself instructions, there are embedded links there to that online writing lab. Also, don't forget in your pocket guide to APA style, which you can link to through the MindTap area there. So go down underneath all the MindTap chapters when you log into MindTap, and then you'll see the pocket guide to APA style. Take a look at Chapter 9. There's a paper there on birth order, and that's a completed sample APA style literature review paper, so use that as a guide as well. It's very, very helpful, I think you'll find. The literature review is due on Wednesday, November 16th, so you're still about 4 weeks out here, but it'll definitely help you out there, so please be careful to take advantage of all the resources that I have provided there for you. And even though this information is clearly in the instructions, just as a bottom line here, how long does the paper have to be? It has to be 8 full pages of actual literature review content, so not 7 1/4, not 7 1/2, but 8 full pages of literature review content. That is information you present from what you found in your list of 10 APA style references, plus you're going to have 3 more pages, a title page, an abstract page, and a page of references. So it's 11 pages altogether, but there's 8 pages which are kind of the meat and potatoes. That is your actual literature review. Make sure you have all that there, and this is all in the instruction file you'll find near the top of the component 3 instructions there. Other than that, that's everything I wanted to say for right now. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope you're watching those lecture videos. They're very helpful to help you understand these between subject, within subject, and the non-experimental and quasi-experimental types of studies. So do watch those. They're not terribly long, but it'll really make things easier for you to understand what these are all about. And don't forget, we have our live session this coming Monday at 11, so hopefully I'll see some of you there. Otherwise, if you need anything in the meantime, please reach out via email on Canvas, and I'll be glad to get back to you. So I'll see you next time. So take care until then.